92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. Today's new drug is a new place, a fantastic place here in Riverside called the Dart Bar, and we hope you'll come on by and say hello. What a cool vibe this place is. Easy to find. It's right near the corner of Park and King. It's on King, on 1261 King Street, just off of Park. The corner of Park and King is how you can find us. What a cool vibe. Games everywhere, darts everywhere, little hockey game right there. If Carlyon had gotten there before, I was going to so wear you out on that thing.
Yeah.
Even though I have no idea how to play it. I just had this hunch, but you got here too late.
Yeah, that's a bold statement. I've got those cat-like reflexes, so.
Super jet. But they have so many cool games. The pool
really
tables in
is
the
awesome.
back. This is really a great setup here.
I mean, they've got skee ball.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to love skee ball.
Who doesn't?
You got
Growing
darts.
up, you did.
I mean,
all kind of different craft beers in here, all kind of different drinks in here. They got a food truck outside. The food truck, by the way, Carlito's Latin Kitchen is here every Thursday, including right now. So they're having a big time here, watching a little hoop. So come on by the Dart Bar. We'll be here till 6 o'clock today. We'll be giving away, by the way, 2 tickets to the Avril Lavigne concert at Daly's. You have to be here to win, though. So you get a raffle ticket, put your name in the hat, and then you're on your way to victory. So come on by and say hello. And it is a good place, man. You could I could tell when I walked in. I told Ronnie, the owner, and Stephanie, who kind of runs the marketing and runs the place, I said you could tell when you walked in, it had a good vibe. A bar with a good vibe has a good vibe.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to being here. And, again, I mean, all the games are fantastic. All the beer, obviously, they've got on draft as well. So a lot of fun, and it's family until 9 o'clock. Families are welcome, and then after that, you need to be 21.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. So come on in here and have a big time. And again, the food truck outside. One more time, every Thursday, Carlito's Latin Kitchen. Very good, by the way. This is, by the way, our visit here is proudly sponsored by the folks from Sierra Nevada and Miller Lite. We've always got a Coors Light koozie. How cool is this? It's awesome. A basketball koozie. Who doesn't want a basketball koozie? So come on by. There's all kind of fun stuff. We'll tell you all about what's going on. But they are the place to watch hoops. Television's everywhere. They got a cool thing. When we get to the Sweet 16, they're going to name all their beers after a different Sweet 16 team.
Nice.
And if that team wins, you get a discount. How about that? Isn't that great? So it's a cool thing. So they're having a lot of fun here. All right, the tournament. I think now, if Auburn can somehow survive Alabama State, and Alabama State's hanging around with them.
Yeah, 10 points at the half.
But I'm guessing Auburn's going to win.
Auburn's winning, but
yeah,
it's not a rout.
I'm guessing Auburn's going to hold on, and in the event that they do, they no longer have to worry about Louisville and Lexington.
Yeah, wow.
Creighton, for people that didn't see it, did you watch the game?
Oh, it was gutting.
Creighton, they gutted them. Creighton took it to Louisville from the minute that thing started, beat them handily. Louisville was playing that game uphill the entire game, and the first, and I say upset, it's a 9-8. But
and Cinderella has arrived at the big dance.
But really, really took it to Louisville.
They did. They were up 15 in a flash, and then that held throughout. And Creighton shot 57% from the floor. So just an outstanding offensive effort from the Blue Jays. And we talked about it. They're a tournament-tested program. I will say I'm surprised Louisville, after complaining as much as they did about being an 8 seed, laid such an egg in front of what was a very friendly crowd to them playing in their home state in Lexington. So, that's the way it goes sometimes. But credit to Creighton. And look, this draw for Auburn, I think Auburn's going to be fine today. I just can't imagine that Alabama State will overcome a 10-point halftime deficit to pull what would be one of, at worst, the third biggest upset in tournament history, and arguably higher, with Auburn being the overall 1 seed. But their road beyond that is tough. Creighton is not going to be an easy game at all. And then there's the potential matchup of 4-seeded Texas A&M, who just beat Auburn. The last couple, 2 or 3 games left in the regular season, A&M took Auburn down. So they're going to have confidence, if that's the matchup, that they can do it. A&M's incredibly physical. And that's before you even get to the bottom half of the bracket with a team like 2nd-seeded Michigan State or 3rd-seeded Iowa State potentially awaiting you in the Elite Eight. Look, we know once you get to the Elite Eight, I say this about Florida. If Florida gets to the Elite Eight, it's going to be hard. So don't worry about the one team that comes out of the bottom. It's supposed to be a hard game. What you worry about is when that round of 32 and the Sweet 16 game is maybe against a team they got kind of a bad seed, maybe should have been seeded higher. In Auburn's case, having to go through Creighton and potentially Texas A&M, and look, Michigan's the 5, maybe Michigan. But I think Texas A&M, having the knowledge that they know they can beat Auburn, that makes it tough for the overall one.
No question. Yeah, games that are completed already. Wisconsin is a 3 seed. They beat number 14 Montana. That is in the East region, so Wisconsin moves on easily. Purdue, the 4 seed in the Midwest. It wasn't easy. High Point hung around with them, but Purdue has beaten the 4, beat the 13, 75-63. So Purdue moves on. Wisconsin moves on. Houston had an easy time with SIUE. Is that Southern Illinois? Maybe
that's what I think it is.
Okay.
Edwardsville.
That's right. Yeah. SIU Edwardsville. They beat them handily, so Houston moves on. 78-40, by the way, was the score of that game. So number 1 seed Houston, number 4 Purdue, both in the Midwest, move on. Number 3 Wisconsin in the East moves on. Creighton, the one sort of mini upset. 9 beating an 8 isn't a big upset, but that's the first mini upset. That is in the South, and those are the games that are completed so far. Auburn at the half, the 1 over the 16, leads Alabama State. I tell you what, though, I took a peek at that thing not long ago, and it was about a 3-point game. It was 29-26 at one point. Auburn kind of extended the lead after that, but at one point that was a 29-26 game where Auburn was very close. So very good game, by the way, on just starting BYU and VCU. That's a good one. I think
that is a good one because, like, everybody thinks VCU is going to pull the upset there. That'd be an 11 over a 6.
Right.
I think all 3 of us have VCU in that matchup.
Pulling the upset.
Yeah, pulling the upset. So we'll see VCU up 2-0 so far.
Yeah,
top of the first.
So we'll certainly track that. So we'll certainly track all those games for you and remind you one more time, all day long today, now until 6 o'clock, we are here at Dart Bar in Riverside. It's 1261 King Street if you want to put it into your GPS. But I can tell you it's right near the corner of Park and King. It's if you're coming down Park, you take a little quick right. If you're coming the way I came, take a quick right, and there you're on King Street, and there it is, right next to Keg and Coin. A lot of the barcade folks love Keg and Coin and know it well. It's right next to it. In fact, Ronnie owns both of them. So and he's a wonderful guy. Well, really nice guy, the owner here. So was happy to have us in. So a lot of things to talk about. All right, let's get to some things on the program today. We'll certainly talk college basketball. I want to ask you the early round games that you remember the best. Early round games that kind of stand out for you, good and bad. Ones that jump off the page for you, whether it was your team, whether it was a game for any reason, and just kind of tournament moments. Today's a good day to talk about tournament moments as this thing is underway, and we're going to certainly get to that as the show goes along today. We didn't really get to Fred Johnson much yesterday other than you bringing it up in headlines. There is significance to that. There is 6'7.5", by the way. I mean, he's taller than Tony Baselli. He's tall. This is a big guy. Okay, so Fred,
and has played a good amount last year for the world champs.
He played in every game. Now some of that is on special teams and field goals and whatnot, but he played on special teams.
And he started
6 games on a team with a very good offensive line and 2 very good offensive tackles. One of the best in the league in Lane Johnson, but 2 very good Mulata too. So 2 very good offensive tackles. So realistically, that's a good. But there's some significance to that. It doesn't get the attention because it came a couple weeks after the other ones, but there is, and I'm going to get to that. In fact, I'm going to start the show with it just a bit, but I'm going to get to that. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up in a bit as well. What's in the minds of the Gators these days? They play tomorrow. How hard is it to come from the team nobody is talking about for, I don't know, probably if not since Billy Donovan left, certainly other than the one Elite 8 year. The Elite 8 year under Mike White, they were very good. They probably should have been in the Final Four that year. But other than that, they're the program nobody has talked about, really, nationally, for all those years. Nobody even mentioned, nobody even knew they existed. Now they're the team everyone's calling the best team in the country. Have you noticed that? I mean, they're not just saying, hey, they're better than we thought. Hey, you know what? They could go deep. Hey, they might even get to the Final Four. For better or worse, and we have some recency bias here. Everybody does. They are the team currently being called the best team in the country. How will they respond to that? That is and again, we'll talk more about it tomorrow because we'll be previewing their game and their games. But that is a major storyline. In fact, perhaps for me, the biggest storyline. How will they handle that?
I think it's a huge question for Florida just because, again, we've talked about it. They don't have the experience as a staff, and these players don't have the experience of that other than Elijah Martin in terms of making a deep run. And, of course, he did that at FAU going to the Final Four. So, yeah, I think it's a fair question. Now, I do think it helps that the bracket comes out Sunday. people start making their predictions Monday, Tuesday. So, I mean, Florida has known, obviously, for days about, where they're being picked and things like that. I think it really helps that, obviously you get what should be a very overmatched team in Norfolk State, the champions of the MEAC, in the first game. So even if you have those jitters, if you're having trouble carrying that weight, you get a game kind of under your belt. You get used to the environment in Raleigh. And then, a couple days later, you play against a team that, isn't ranked in UConn or Oklahoma in the 8-9 game. So, again, if you're as good as you have shown, those things should not bother you. And then, once you get through the first weekend, then I think everybody's got pressure. You're in the Sweet 16, and, you're 2 wins away when you go to your regional of advancing to the Final Four. So, I don't – It's out there. It has to be out there. It has to be a variable because they've never shown, they've never proven that, they can withstand the pressure that will be on them. But I don't get a sense that it's going to bother them, at least now. And my guess is if Florida gets beat in this tournament, it's going to be because they turned the ball over too much. They weren't particularly good at the foul line. And the other team just shot the lights out, just had an unbelievable day. I don't get a sense that Florida is going to have necessarily a meltdown moment because we just haven't seen that. They've won every game they've led at the half, and the 4 games that they've lost, the recipe was all the same. They got down big early and, in some cases rallied, like they came back against Georgia to get the lead, couldn't hold it. Georgia won. I don't really remember against Kentucky, but it was a 6-point game. The only game they really got throttled in where they just couldn't make anything for 40 minutes was the game in Knoxville when Tennessee blew them out.
Yeah, and look, you're due a clunker. That might be the only clunker they've had all
you're not
year.
Going undefeated.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in, 40 years?
Might be the only real clunker they've had all year. So no question about it. All right, we got a lot of things to talk. We'll talk some more Gator basketball coming up a little bit later on. We'll talk about the tournament, some favorite moments in the tournament, moments that stand out in the tournament. But I want to start with football, even on this March Madness Thursday, live from the Dart Park. The Fred Johnson move, there is significance to that. I'll explain my thoughts on that. I want to get yours as well. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Tensions build.
3rd and 12. Let's go.
Plot thickens.
We got to get off the field.
Crowds roar. Tune in and let the show begin. Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
Lots of jewelry stores in the town center, but only one is locally owned, Beard's Diamonds.
We're the only local jewelry store at the town center.
That's Jacksonville's John Lupo, owner of Beard's for over 4 decades.
We're entrenched in Jacksonville, Florida.
In a sea of mega chain jewelers, John says it's easy to stand out because he's not handcuffed by a corporate handbook.
I am not beholden to a corporate structure, so we've got flexibility to do whatever we can and want, and we do.
And that includes lowering prices to undercut them every day.
Quality for quality, color for color, everything the same. We should be able to beat them hands down by minimum 20%. We go overseas ourselves. We know exactly what we're buying. This isn't getting marked up in a corporate structure. We will beat anybody's price anywhere.
So before you buy anything at one of those chains, get a second opinion at locally owned Beard's Diamonds. No corporate atmosphere, no corporate rules, no corporate high markups.
We want you to come shop us and you'll see a lot better price here.
Beard's Diamonds.
Everybody gets a good deal at Beard's.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, Call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
Plumbing problem? AC not blowing cool? Septic tank backing up? No need to call 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. At Duck Duck Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. One company, one call, one easy bill. No hassle, no runaround, just fast professional service from highly skilled techs who know their stuff. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Duck Duck Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Keep the off-season rolling with AA Automotive and 1010XL, which free agents could look good in a teal jersey.
That's a beautiful thing.
Free agency profiles are covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. Experience the universal difference.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Stanley Pool's been doing our pools forever. They also service our pool. They do a great job, by the way. You look for someone to take care of your pool. There's nobody better than Stanley, and of course they build the best pools in town. That's the name to know in pool building, Stanley Pools. And guys, they've been a loyal sponsor of this program for the longest time. My friend Greg Stanley and all the folks there. What a wonderful group. It truly is. Kim, Liz, the whole group. So we sure are appreciative of them. That much I can assure you. By the way, here's what Will Wade said. Will Wade said, "Hey, Clemson, here's a little taste of what's coming the next few years, okay?"
Oh, my God.
Before he leaves McNeese and gets to NC State,
wow,
Clemson, which has one of the best basketball teams in their history, all right? They've had good teams, but not a lot of them. Clemson's a football school.
Clark Kellogg has Clemson going to the national title game.
I mean, Clemson has had a good team.
Wow.
Here's what McNeese has for you. Will Wade said, "Saddle up, boys." At the half, Clemson 13. McNeese 31.
Oh, my.
They're up 31-13 on Clemson has scored 13 points on
That's
McNeese.
incredible.
And they're at the half. 13 points.
Wow.
So Will Wade.
And I think Clemson just gave their coach like a 6-year extension,
Yeah.
as they should. I mean, even if they lose this game, I mean, he's done a great job there. But boy,
Here comes Will Wade into the ACC.
I mean, why didn't he get, like, if you're FSU, why wouldn't you consider Will Wade? I mean, yes, 5 years ago what he did was wrong. Now it's perfectly legal.
I think,
and you look at the SEC. The SEC, Auburn, made out like a bandit taking a chance on Bruce Pearl.
Right.
Reclamation Project. Chris Beard at Ole Miss.
Right.
I mean, it just – I mean, that's an unbelievably good hire for NC State.
I told you this. I said this the other day on the show. I'll reiterate it now. Whether he turns out to be a phenomenally good hire, a disaster of a bad hire, or somewhere in between, it was very clear Luke Laux was Michael Alford's guy from the get-go, for better or worse. And we'll see which one it is. But it was very clear he was his guy from the get-go.
I mean, the buyout at McNeese cannot be a lot for Will Wade. I understand it. Like, Indiana paid West Virginia a big buyout to get DeVries. But I can't believe Will Wade has a buyout at all.
Yeah,
at
and if you're a basketball coach, NC State's probably the better of the two jobs. But they're close.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
close,
think it's stratospherically different.
So I want to get to football for a second.
That's a shocking score. When you started talking about it, I hadn't seen the update. 31-13. Whew.
So yesterday it kind of went under the radar a bit. Fred Johnson, a former Florida Gator, signed a free agent deal with the Jaguars. It kind of went sort of under the radar because March Madness is here. We just got through with the Players' Championship. We've taken one of the very few brief pauses we ever take from Jaguars football to talk a little bit about some other stuff. So it didn't get a lot of attention. Well, in the meantime, as it's not getting a lot of attention, I got thinking about it, called around a little bit. I can tell you this. Chuma Edoga, the former Dallas Cowboy swing tackle, and Fred Johnson, the former Philadelphia Eagles swing tackle, chose to come here. All right? They're both at a point in their careers where you're not going to choose to go be a swing tackle. Now, you may land as the swing tackle, but you're not going there. You didn't say, hey, let me get to Jacksonville so I can be a backup. They didn't. I'm telling you, I would keep an eye on the both tackle competition. Walker Little and Anton Harrison are the incumbent, and they're good players. Anton Harrison's a first-round draft pick. But Fred Johnson and Chuma Edoga were not brought here to necessarily be backups. They were brought here to compete, to force competition at those two spots, and may the best guys win. Keep an eye on that one. I went into free agency thinking, okay, you need some guards. Another receiver wouldn't be a bad idea. Safety is an issue. Maybe a corner maybe some guards again. But what I did not think about, what never crossed my mind, was new tackles. I don't know about you, but that's for whatever reason I never got there. They brought in Fred Johnson and Chuma Edoga, and I don't want to misrepresent this. They didn't bring them in to be the starting tackles and to bench their incumbents, but they damn sure brought them in to compete with their incumbents. As we get to camp, that suddenly, at least in my mind, might be one of the best battles of camp.
I totally agree. I mean, we talked about this when Walker Little got the contract extension towards the end of last year. He's never won a job in training camp. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a team giving a contract extension. It wasn't like a crazy lucrative extension, but it was a nice extension. I mean, it was starter level money extension, and Walker Little has never won a job in training camp. It's its time as a Jaguar, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Sign a couple guys that can really push them. And Anton Harrison probably had a worse second year than his rookie year. He's gone through some injuries. Push him. I mean, it's a cliche, but iron sharpens iron. And it just doesn't feel like the Jaguars have really had that, particularly on the offensive front at all. And, and now they're going to have that. I totally agree with you. I mean, whether it's a message or whether it's a legit, guys, you better buckle the chin strap in training camp or you're not going to have your starting jobs. It's going to make the team better. Having 2 tackles, both those guys have started a handful of games in this league and held up. So I absolutely think, you don't know, how their skill sets, Walker Little and Anton Harrison, translates to what Liam Cohen wants to do. So, yeah, it's a terrible, terrible message to Javon Foster and the rest of the guys on the current roster that fancy themselves as offensive tackles. Because if you're an in-house solution, what these 2 signings have told you is you're on the outside looking in. And you better really be sharp if you want to make this 53, which is how it should be.
And if you want back on the inside, come in the best shape of your life.
Right.
Come in. Remember when Josh Allen a few years ago, Josh Hines Allen went and just remade his body in Phoenix? Go remake your body, whoever you are. Come in there in the best. And by the way, Josh followed that up with a 17.5 sack season. Go come in with the best in the best shape of your life, and that's the message. Look, I'll go back to it again. Trevor Lawrence was asked in his postseason, after Doug Peterson was gone, after all the changes were made, after everything had happened, what went wrong? And obviously Schott had made the comment after firing Doug Peterson that they were predictable on offense. And Trevor's answer was, we couldn't run it all, which is what made us predictable. Everyone knew we were going to throw it, so that's what made us predictable. It was an interesting point, and they couldn't run it all. Their offensive line just wasn't very physical, and quite frankly, at any of the spots, they were, even when they were good pass blockers. I watched the Super Bowl, bro. That offensive line was physical, man, and that's how they won. And I promise you, Chuma Edoga and Fred Johnson at tackle, in addition to Makari and Hainsey, were brought in to make that offensive line more physical. And by the way, I still think moves are coming to make the defensive line that way too. But I think the staff must have looked at Mason Smith, Jordan Jefferson, young guys, and thought, we might have something there. Because if not, I think you'd see some defensive tackles. And to James Gladstone's point in his presser, they're probably going to invest some draft capital there too. But I'm telling you, again, Fred Johnson went under the radar because of when they signed him. Don't underestimate that one. I tell you what, he was a good player at Florida. He was, because DJ Humphrey was the big
5-star recruit.
The 5-star recruit. He got all the attention. He played on the left and Johnson played on the right. I thought Johnson was the better player in college. Didn't you think that?
Yeah, without a doubt. I was always very down on DJ Humphries, and I was shocked that he had got paid as much, and I don't know that he ever delivered the results. But he would get these big paychecks in the NFL from Arizona, and it was like, what are you guys doing?
He's an athletic
He's
guy.
athletic, but and Fred Johnson is the mauler.
I mean, Fred Johnson's 6'7.5", about 340.
Yeah, and
that is a big dude, man.
Well, and again, you go through it. They're probably keeping 10 offensive linemen on the 53. Well, they've signed 4. Those guys are making the team.
Right.
I mean, assuming everybody stays healthy in camp.
Great point.
So those guys are
making the team.
They're, I guarantee you, drafting an offensive lineman, if not more than one, but certainly one. Well, that gets you to 5 guys. All right, now you've got your in-house guys that they inherited. Walker Little will make the team. Anton Harrison will make the team. But beyond that, who's now the other 3? Luke Fortner?
Yeah, I would think Ezra Cleveland's on the team.
Ezra Cleveland, that's a good call.
I think he'll be on the team. Those 3 are on the – but your point's dead on. After Little, Harrison, and Cleveland, there's no guarantees of the guys they inherited.
No.
There's no –
I mean, you've got Fortner.
Because that, by the way,
you've got Javon Foster, who they just invested not them, but the previous Trent Baalke took in the 4th round.
Right.
I mean, normally you don't part ways with a 4th-round pick going into year 2.
Right.
But clearly – I mean, they have put Javon Foster absolutely on the spot with these 2 moves. Because right now, you got to think they've got 4 tackles.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably not keeping a 5th. So, again, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. And that's what they needed.
Yes.
They need to instill that level of competition, fighting for your job, winning a job in training camp.
100%, Hays. And part of that is, number one, 100%. And based on what they've inherited, the way to win that job is to be more physical than the other guy. That because I mean that's what they're inherited based on what they've inherited. So no, I agree with you. So keep an eye on this. And it goes back to the theme of free agency. When free agency was coming around, everybody saw names like Godwin and Cup. I bet they're going, they're going after Godwin. I heard they want Godwin or Cup. Well, to pay either one of those guys or Jonathan Allen or a host of others, it would have limited how many guys you can get and still keep some cap flexibility. So this didn't mean, I told you, I don't think they were ever interested in Chris Godwin or Cooper Kupp, no matter what you said. It was never in play. Not because they necessarily didn't think they were good players, but rather than go pay a $20 million guy, for the most part, they were going to go get 10 guys. Again, what was McCarry? 3 for 37?
Yeah.
That was probably as high as they were going, and that was a high guy.
Right.
And so they were going to go get 10 guys. Well, they got 10. I would not be shocked if you look up in 2 weeks and somebody else, a Fred Johnson type at edge, a Fred Johnson type at safety, or what? Would that surprise you?
Not at all.
I mean, a guy that's been a backup and almost not a backup, but I would not be surprised. They're totally remaking the foundation of this roster. That's the bottom line. What was the phrase that Gladstone used? And you
Elevate
used?
the floor.
Elevate the floor, and that they very clearly are doing that. And again, don't dismiss the whole point of this segment. Don't dismiss the signing of Fred Johnson. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, there's only precious few spots to make that 53. So these offensive linemen that are still under contract with the Jaguars that were brought in by Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson, buckle up, because you're in for a fight to keep your job.
When we come back, we'll update you. I'll give you a little bit of an update. BYU in a good game. You knew it would be a good one. BYU leads VCU now 22-19. That one's been back and forth as you thought it would be. Now VCU just hit a 3. Let me correct myself. 22 all. VCU, BYU, 22 all. Auburn now starting to pull away. The 116 game from Alabama State, 58-38. We told you it's still at the half now. McNeese leads Clemson 31-13. Georgia Gonzaga about to start. I don't think it has yet.
What a war that's going to be.
That's another 8-9 game, which is going to be a terrific game. So we'll continue to update you on the score.
And Clemson still has 13 points.
They have not. They did not score at the half.
Really?
They have not scored.
They're
at the
due.
Half.
They're due to get hot.
When we come back, I want to talk about moments in the tournament that stood out to you. I got a bunch of them. That's next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now another March update, served up hot by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Florida Pest Control.
I'm Molly McDonald with your March Madness NCAA Tournament update. Halfway through day one of the tournament, here's a recap of your winners from this afternoon. First-seeded Houston had a dominating performance against SIU Edwardsville 78-40. We'll look to the winner of the Gonzaga versus Georgia game that is tipping off here shortly at 4:35, along with fourth-seeded Purdue, who will take on the winner of the Clemson versus McNeese game, with 13th-seeded McNeese leading against fifth-seeded Clemson 31-13 at halftime. Also moving along will be third-seeded Wisconsin, along with 8th-seeded Creighton, who's waiting on the winner from the Auburn versus Alabama State game to know who they'll match up against, with first-seeded Auburn leading 58-38 with 12 minutes to go into the game. In the Eastern region, BYU and VCU are currently tied 22-22 with 7 minutes to go in the first half. Stay tuned in to 1010XL for all your March Madness scores and matchups all day today and tomorrow.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Get
a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids a chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hays Carlyon here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Hays Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The trip of the summer is coming live. Collective Soul Summer Unity Tour 2025. Daly's Place, Friday, August 8th. Special guest, Graylin James Rue. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Live, Collective Soul together.
This free agency profile is brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. Experience the universal difference.
Former Vikings tight end Johnny Munt is headed to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Although his receiving numbers as a tight end don't jump off the screen, it's what he does as a blocker that makes him such a key contributor on rosters. When it comes to getting the Jaguars offense back on track, the running game is going to play a key role. And rest assured, they'll look to Munt's elite blocking ability to help the Teal and Black in their run attack.
Hey gang, Prosser here. We've talked about some of the struggles that you may come across when it comes time to sell your home. We've told you how great Chad and Sandy are at chadandsandy.com. But you know, they're also great when things are going good and the economy is showing positive signs. Now may be the time to sell your home at the price you want. It's easy to find out. Get friendly expert help from the Jacksonville agents who eat and sleep local real estate. Call my agents, Chad and Sandy Newman. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Chad and Sandy can do that. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Well, let's take care of that right now because here's the Chad and Sandy guarantee. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline or they will buy it. Jonathan in Mount Pleasant said the only thing standing between me and my dream of traveling in my RV was the sale of my Mount Pleasant home. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Crazy results in just 3 days. Multiple offers, full asking price. You can get it too. Call today or go to chadandsandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on the Frangie Show since 1988. The experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures. It's Stanley Pools.
We thank our friends from Stanley Pools, the best pool company in town. Man, since 1988, they've taken care, built 2 pools for us, and they service our pool and renovated it once. Gosh, they do a great job. You can trust Greg Stanley and all the folks at Stanley Pools for sure. We're live at the Dart Bar here in Riverside. What a fantastic play. The bar's packed in here. People loving some hoops. They're going to have all the games on the entire tournament. It's located here in Riverside. It's on King Street. It's 1261 King Street if you put it in your GPS. But if you just know the area, it's right where Park and King meet, just off of Park Street. Love to have you come by and see us here. Man, oh man, Sierra Nevada, Miller Lite, they're the big sponsors here. All the March Madness games are on here. And again, starting with the Sweet 16, they're going to have the beer battle. They'll have all the names of the teams up there, and they'll be giving great discounts, so that's a lot of fun, too. Dart Bar's second anniversary weekend, by the way, is May 16th to 18th. There's a burlesque show here. Free yoga session. Hayes will be leading that yoga session.
Well, after the burlesque show.
Because he is a yogi. They're all kind of fun stuff coming up. So come see him here. It is a wonderful place here, the Dart Bar. We're happy to be here, and they couldn't be any nicer. Golly, Ronnie and his staff are so nice. So it is really good to be here. Let me update some scores. VCU and BYU, you knew that was going to be a good one. 24-all, 5:21 to play in the first. By the way, Gonzaga all over the Bulldogs. It's Bulldogs versus Bulldogs here. Gonzaga 11-0 over Mike White's team.
Mike White's team hasn't scored yet?
They have not scored.
That's shocking.
11-0, and they're just about at they haven't even gotten to the under 16 yet. So good start for
Mike White's team. Didn't show up for the NCAA tournament.
Well,
is that Oral Roberts over there, or is that the Gonzaga Bulldogs?
That's usually the second game. They usually win the first game.
Good point. Fair point.
So Auburn 60-42 now, winning easily over Alabama State. 62-45 now is the update we just got. McNeese 36-16 over Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers.
Incredible. Cade Klubnik better get going.
They're up 20. Now listen, they're up 20 in the second half. At some point, you better get going here.
Particularly if you've only scored 16 points in the game,
right,
Clemson.
Right.
Clemson was 1 of 16 on their three-point shots last I checked. They were 23.1% shooting from the field with 18:30 left in the game.
Yeah,
you just obviously. I mean, that's just.
They only had 13 points at the half, but they've exploded for 3 in the second half. So
that is, talk about a no-show.
So 36-16 will continue.
A lot of basketball left, but Clemson better get super hot. They better shoot like 60% for the rest of this game to get that number in a more manageable level.
We'll track those for you. And again, right now, the closest game we've got going is VCU BYU, and we'll continue to update you on that one.
Is Gonzaga still up? Has Georgia scored yet? Is it time to put Todd Gurley in?
11-0. They're inside the 16-minute.
What about Nick Chubb? Is he available to get in there and get some points?
Just run
Georgia?
it, right?
Yeah.
If you're Georgia, you run it. What moments stand out? Any early tournament moments? Probably Gator moments for you, but or not?
It's funny. It's not for me. This day will always, for whatever reason, the one that is crystallized in my mind is Bryce Drew, Valparaiso, shocking Ole Miss on just what was such a diabolically brilliant design. It was a full court heave. The guy kind of corralled it around the free throw line. Quick pass out to Bryce Drew, coach's son, drains the three to beat Ole Miss. I think Mike White was on that Ole Miss team, if memory serves.
I think he was.
Yeah, but it wasn't his fault.
But he was on the floor. I think he told that story.
Yeah. But just it's just a shock. Just watching it live, because back then they didn't have all the games on. You'd have like your one game, and then they'd break in.
Right.
If something exciting happened. So, it wasn't like today where every game is on some channel. And so for whatever reason, I remember that one sort of kind of where I was watching that, I don't even know what year that would have been, 89? Maybe I was like 13.
Somewhere in there.
Something like that. But that's the one that really resonates with me in terms of a Cinderella, stunner at the buzzer kind of shot.
Yeah, that one stood out. The Gator ones for me, obviously the Mike Miller runner. That's the one we all remember. That one's early on. Stands out for me as far as the early round games.
I was late to work watching that game. That was when I was working at the Moss Fire.
Okay.
And was a little late for my shift because I think we must have been like the 2 o'clock game.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, I can't leave until.
It was actually about a 2:30 start.
And I think I was supposed to be there at like probably 4:30.
Yeah. But
they were great.
But
they always were.
But we had so that one stands out as far as early moment games. JU lost to Western Kentucky in the early round. Still is just so painful for me because it was the year after they went to the final game. And the next year, they were 27-0 and had the best team in the country, and Western Kentucky shocked them in the first round. Went on to finish third in the tournament. Western Kentucky back then was really good, but JU was a prohibitive favorite and lost in the early rounds, and we never recovered. JU was never the same again. So that one sort of stands out to me as well. The games that stand out, just single games, not necessarily early games. The Miller was the early game. I think probably as much as any game I've ever watched, the game that still stands out to me is the Donyell Marshall missing the free throw game. I don't know that I can ever remember a game, for people that don't remember it, in '94 when Florida went to their first ever Final Four, they had the number one seed in that region was UConn. And Florida was the 3 seed. They had a good team. And Florida was pretty much getting outplayed for the most part by UConn, but hanging around. Gators took a lead in that game. Craig Brown hit a bunch of threes, and all of a sudden the Gators took a lead. But Gators up 1, I think, right, when Donyell Marshall went to the line, or maybe up 2. But missed both. One of the best players in college basketball. Missed both free throws. Florida hung on and won. Then came back and beat Boston College 2 days later. It was a Friday, Sunday. 2 days later came back and beat Boston College to go to the Final Four. What I remembered, I was in Miami. I was on the radio. I just left the newspaper to go into the radio business. I like a year earlier, and we were down there doing live. Back then, we would do live shows on Saturday mornings if it warranted on 9:30, and I was doing a live show. So Florida on Friday night. I don't know if I told you the story before. Florida on Friday night beats UConn in some crazy game. We're staying at the Sheridan right there on Biscayne Bay. Right there at Key Biscayne area, and where it was packed in Biscayne Bay. So, and all the Gators were staying there, and all the Gator fans were everywhere. So we would do shows in the lobby, and it was packed. The whole lobby was packed. And it's in the middle of the NCAA tournament, and I called Lon. I said, "Could you come by and do something?" He said, "Sure, I'll come by." So it's Saturday morning, a 10 to noon show. He had just beaten UConn in the late game. Walks downstairs. The Gator fans are all cheering. He comes and sits with me. Does this? I mean, how good is that?
That's awesome.
So he comes and sits with me and does a segment, and the fans are all cheering, and you can imagine how it'd be. Lon, tell us about it. And the fans are yelling, they're going crazy, and he's talking about they're one game away from the Final Four, and we're about to wrap. And I was Lon, I can't tell you, of all you've got going on, you're playing for a berth in the Final Four tomorrow. You just had the most dramatic game of the tournament last night. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you for coming by. He goes, "Need me another segment?" And Lon, can you say another segment?
That's
awesome. And the fans go, when he says that, the fans lose their mind. There's probably 40 or 50 fans in front of us in this hotel lobby. He goes, "You need me to stay some more?" And I said, "Yes." And they're all standing and cheering. So we go to break. We come back. We do another segment about the game. I mean, can you imagine? That's why Lon Kruger became one of my favorite all-time people.
Yeah.
But that game certainly stands out to me as well. It's cool. It was cool growing up, Hays. I was thinking about this coming in here today. As a little kid watching basketball, the first player I knew who he was Neil Walk. Remember, and when I was like 9 and 10, he averaged 26 and 19.
That's amazing.
He as a junior. And then everybody figured out who he was, so everybody double-teamed him as a senior. He averaged 25 and 18. 26 points and 19 rebounds. That's what he averaged.
How did he end up at Florida? Do you remember?
I don't. He was from Miami.
Oh,
and right now there wasn't a lot of national recruiting, so he was from Miami, but he went for 26 and 19. Nobody could cover him. Now, he was 6'11" and big, burly guy. There weren't a lot of guys like that. And then goes for 12. So he was the first college basketball player I ever heard of. And they had a guard named Tony Miller who could make everything. So I'd go out in my friend's backyard at his great court, and I'd shoot it like I was Tony Miller. And then JU came around the next year. The JU stuff started happening the next year. So I remember watching Florida. They were never good enough to get to the tournament. Watching JU go to the tournament in '71. The cool thing is, I think it was the very next year, and 2 years later, Florida State goes to the tournament. And I can tell you, this is in 1972. So I would have been 13 in spring of 72. Here's how I remember that. I could tell you their starting five, first guy off the bench, and you don't even need to ask me. Yes, I could tell you all their numbers. And this was Florida. I wasn't a Florida State fan.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I could tell you all five starters on the Florida State team that went in 72. And the first guy off the bench, and their numbers.
Wow.
Okay, and so but,
I believe you. I'm not gonna test you.
Yeah, but because I just remember watching the NCAA tournament way back in the day as a little kid was a cool thing. Well before I had an alma mater because I hadn't gone to college yet. But after going to college, well before my alma mater, when Billy Donovan got there, started becoming a thing, and they became a thing. To that end, before we break and get to some other stuff in the 5 o'clock hour, what about Billy Donovan? Is he? Where's Billy Donovan headed? Is he just gonna do 2 or 3 more years with the Bulls and retire?
That's what it feels like. But I mean, who knows? I mean, now that the revenue sharing, the college world seems like it's stabilizing. Florida State's not the only program that's hiring NBA assistants. There's been a couple others, D1 schools that have gone that route. And their argument is, look, there's never been a thinner line between professional sports and college sports. I mean, so you don't really have to recruit. It's going to be whoever pays the kid the most is in all likelihood going to get the athlete. So, would the environment now suit Billy a little bit more because of the stable nature of it? Because I'm sure he'd go to a program that's going to have really good NIL resources. So I could see that. I mean, it seems like the Bulls are kind of fluttering. I think they're kind of in the play-in game range.
But they've not.
Last I looked,
but they've not been very good. Since
I would think this could easily be his last year there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's his fault, but they've not been very good since he's been the coach.
And I wouldn't think he gets a third. This is his second NBA job, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think he'd get a third. So, I mean, he still seems, somebody put up a clip of him yesterday talking about Florida's run.
What got me thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think it was Zach Alblaverdi, but perhaps not. I apologize, but I think it was Zach who covers the Gators. And, Billy looks great. I mean, obviously still has a lot of pride for what he did at Florida. But, yeah, I mean, I would think that if, if Bill Self retired, or if UNC is Davis has a long-term deal there, and Shire's got it going at Duke. But I would think if it's a program that is literally like top 8 in the country, I would think that he would be attractive to them, and vice versa.
I just think he's got a move left. You're reading about Pitino. Pitino, after the NBA stuff, went to Kentucky, won a title, had won a title at Kentucky, NBA, went back to Louisville, won a title. Then he kind of got shamed out of Louisville, so he landed in Europe, coaching Europe for a while. That got him the Iona job, or maybe the Iona before Europe. Anyway, he had to crawl back in, man. I mean, he had to go. Was that Iona most recently?
Iona and then St. John's.
Okay, so it was Louisville, then Europe.
Exodus.
Yeah, in Europe.
Right.
Then Iona, then St. John's. But he was willing to climb his way back in. And Billy doesn't have to do that because there's no shame.
Right.
But I just think Billy Donovan walking a college sideline is not. We haven't seen the last time.
Well, I don't know if it came.
And I
out
hope we haven't
earlier in the day. I saw a report that Texas was firing their coach.
Yeah.
Texas lost in the play-in game last night.
Rodney Terry.
And so if I'm Texas,
I could see that.
I would call Billy Donovan and say, we'll give you $5 million a year and promise you, all the NIL money you need.
Right.
Let's make this happen.
Yeah, so we'll see. By the way, BYU 34-28 over VCU in the closing seconds of the first half, and then they just hit another 3. So that upset may not happen. The 11 over the 6 we all predicted. BYU is up 37-28. They're up 9 nearing the half. By the way, after trailing 11-0.
Is Georgia going to score today?
Yeah, Georgia went on a run. After trailing 11-0, they quickly went on a 3-point run, but then Gonzaga went on another one. So Gonzaga now leads 25-3.
25-3 in an 8-9 game.
Well, here's what happened. They said, how'd Georgia score? Kevin Butler was good on a 48-yarder from the right hash, I think is what's happened. They are down 25-3.
Wow, thanks for showing up, Georgia.
25-3.
That's hard to do. I mean, Gonzaga, we talked about Gonzaga was probably slighted with being an 8 seed when they were 10th in the net ranking.
Right.
But, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't think you're going to see a 16-1 matchup start with one team scoring 25 of the first 28. What a just atrocious job by Mike White having his team ready for this game. By the way, it's now 27-3.
27. Well, Georgia's run was short-lived. Their 3-point run. They're down 27-3.
What's going on with Clemson McNeese?
Clemson McNeese is
that still...
Yeah, it is 45-27.
Wow. Well, Clemson scored more this half than they did the first half.
Yeah, they had. They ended up with 14 points in the half. But I tell you what, that was getting scary now. I mean, there's 11:47 left in the game.
Yeah.
And you're down 18, so that one's still in range, but you have to be careful. Let's take a break. Do want to remind you, we're here at the Dart Bar. We got an hour to go on the program today. It's at 1261 King Street. They're giving away, by the way, 2 tickets to Avril Lavigne. That comes up in June at Daly's Place. You have to put your name in the hat here. Come get a raffle ticket. I see your name in the hat. Put your half of the raffle ticket in. We will call it out in the 5 o'clock hour, late in the 5 o'clock hour. Have to be here to win. And a lot of people are already here. So there's a lot of people that might win, but it's a great crowd in here. Come by and see us here in Riverside, the corner of Park and King, but it's really a 1261 King right next to Keg and Coin. If you know this area, you know that. Food trucks every night. Carlito's Latin Kitchen. We're going to try some of the food. They brought us some. So Carlito's Latin Kitchen is the food truck that's here every Thursday night. They do a fantastic job. Sierra Nevada and Miller Lite are sponsoring this thing. All kind of fun stuff going on here at the Dart Bar. And again, people love this place in this area, so hopefully you'll come on by. We got an hour to go. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
I think you're not suited for this job.
Mornings.
In addition to being incompetent, you threaten my reputation, and not just today.
On 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services. Call 904-862-6769.
Hi, it's Rick Ballou. I hope you'll join me and some former NFL players for an incredible event at the end of March, the Lone Warrior Foundation 2025 Champions of Hope Charity Golf and Tennis Challenge. March 31st at Marsh Landing will support single-parent families in their fight against cancer. An opportunity to win sensational prizes, but more importantly, we will bring meaningful hope and support to the lives of families affected. To sign up, go to LoneWarriorFoundation.com. That's LoneWarriorFoundation.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true. And after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase now through March.
Mia O'Brien.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
On Helmets and Heels, noon to 2.
I swear to you, I know her.
Then there's the 1010XL video and social media channels.
I would know her voice anywhere.
All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
On 1010XL.
The restaurant of the day is the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Get a Greek Feast family combo meal tray with chicken skewers, gyro meat, gulmades, and more. Feed 4 to 6 people for just $49.95. Feed 8 to 10 for just $99.95. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Join UF Health Jacksonville for their inaugural golf classic on Friday, April 25th at Amelia River Club. Sponsorships and foursomes are available. Visit ufhealthjacks.org/golf for details. See you on the course.
The First Tee Tour card is back for 2025 and better than ever, with access to over 15 of North Florida's best courses and new this year, local participating businesses. This card is your ticket to saving hundreds. First Tee North Florida is a local nonprofit who build character in youth participants through the game of golf. This annual fundraiser enables this amazing organization the ability to build game changers. Grab your tour card for just $99 at tourcard.org for a list of participating partners, benefits, and restrictions.
Tired of supermarket produce that's traveled thousands of miles before you get it? Treat your family to farm fresh, Florida-grown fruits and veggies delivered right to your home with Doorbell Farms. No supply chain issues or questionable origins, just seasonal produce handpicked from local farmers. Subscribe monthly and enjoy the best local farm produce delivered right to you. Sign up now at doorbellfarms.com, connecting real people to real family farms. Doorbellfarms.com.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, in talking about the quality of cut of a diamond, is there a particular diamond cutter that's known as the best?
Frank, the answer is yes, and that would be Hearts on Fire, who have the world's most perfectly cut diamond, and we have them now at Underwoods. When anybody comes in and looks at one of these diamonds, the first thing they say is, wow! That's because these diamonds are cut from absolute maximum beauty and are really worth seeing, so you have an idea of how good a diamond can really look. They have perfect polish, perfect symmetry, and perfect proportions, and are backed up with an American Gem Society diamond quality document. Now, not every diamond could be a Hearts on Fire diamond because only certain rough diamonds in the hands of the most skilled cutters working in state-of-the-art cutting facilities can cut these. In fact, only 200 diamond cutters out of the 1 million people employed in the diamond cutting trade are skilled enough to cut Hearts on Fire diamonds.
See Hearts on Fire now at Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round one of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The madness continues within the world of college basketball. And it also includes the JU Dolphins. After a change to the playing field, the Jacksonville Dolphins men's basketball team now have a new schedule for the College Basketball Invitational. They were initially slated to face off with Cleveland State in the quarterfinals of the CBI, but the playing field dropped the team and caused a change to the tournament bracket. Now the Dolphins will face the winner of Manhattan and Incarnate Word in the quarterfinals. This will be Jacksonville's first appearance in the CBI and its 25th appearance in a postseason tournament in the school's history. North Florida baseball travels to Charlotte, North Carolina for an ASUN matchup with Queens beginning tomorrow. You can broadcast the entire series on ESPN+. 73 degrees at 5:03. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Here's how good the games are here at Dart Bar. They have weekly and monthly leagues. They have pool leagues, foosball leagues, chess leagues, ping pong, skee ball, leagues for all of that, and they love it, man. Come on by here and participate in some of the leagues here. The Dart Bar is the place to go, have some great drinks, and play all kind of these fun games. I mean, and darts everywhere for sure. You know they've got leagues there. So come on by here. Once again, we're at 1261 King Street, the corner of Park and King. We spoke too soon earlier. Right when we thought Georgia was dead in the water, they went on a run Unfortunately, it was a 2-point run, so they went from 21-3 down 27-5. Okay, so the run didn't last is what happened, Hays. It was a short-lived run for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Does Gonzaga take their foot off the gas and let Georgia just sort of creep back in? It's 20 right now.
27-5.
Okay, I think it's 30-10 right now.
Okay, so they went.
But so 20 points. If you could somehow, but to half, get it maybe to 13, and then with 10 minutes left in the game, have it at about 7. I mean, it's not over.
Yeah.
But what a just dreadful start for Georgia. And a team like Gonzaga, I mean, it was well coached. Mark Few is the Bulldogs are. I mean, I think he's going to have his guys. Like, as long as Gonzaga doesn't take their foot off the gas, they should be fine here. They're better than Georgia anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, this was one that screamed out, I think, to everybody in the 8-9 game. I'd be shocked if the percentages nationally on people that pick Georgia, I would think that would be a very low percentage, because everybody thought, Gonzaga going for a record of, amount of Sweet 16 appearances in a row. I think they're looking for their 9th straight trip to the second weekend. I mean, it was going to be difficult for Georgia, and it certainly is bared out that way. But this is really, to this point, pretty embarrassing to be down 30-10.
Yeah, I actually thought Georgia was playing pretty well at the end of the year. Now, listen, one thing we're going to say, no matter how much we're SEC homers, and I'm the ultimate, and I admit to it, but the reality is the real test is here. Auburn struggled a little early in the game against a 16 seed.
They're up 23 now.
They're up comfortably now, but they struggled early.
But it took a while, yeah.
Georgia from the SEC getting just buried in this thing. So, and again, that's two teams.
Texas lost last night to Xavier in the play-in.
Texas lost in a play-in game. So, again, you're measured by how you do in the postseason, not how you do against each other. That's the reality. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that and see what.
Carl Ravitch may have the last laugh after all.
He did say that, right? He made the point about how they're a 500 team when they play against each other. So we'll continue to update you. You know how the tournament goes. That will be the first weekend for the high seeds isn't usually super nerve-wracking, or the first game. But it gets interesting right after this. I mean, right after this, it's going to get interesting.
Auburn-Creighton is going to be must-watch.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if that doesn't come right down to the final couple minutes of that game.
Yeah, same here.
And so that's one already that you're looking forward to when you peek ahead to what will be Saturday's round of 32 action.
Yeah, no question. So it's going to be obviously really good games coming up. We'll certainly track those games for you as we move along. Other things going on in the world of sports. Baseball right around the corner. I realize the opening day is about 7-8 days away.
Wow.
JJ, you ready? Are you ready, or you're impatient? You wish it was today, right?
I am ready. We got another player today. Verdugo is now a member of the Atlanta Braves.
Alex Verdugo.
I know that's massive news around America.
Yeah, no, I saw it, and he's I gotta believe he's a fourth outfielder.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's been brought in there as a backup. But, you know what? He was for a while there. He was actually. He'll always be the guy that was in the Mookie Betts trade, right?
Yes, for the Dodgers.
He'll always be looked down on because he's the guy that came when Mookie Betts left. He's among the guys that came when Mookie Betts left. So, but no, I'm ready though. I am ready for baseball to start. I will tell you that Paul Skeens pitches opening day a week from Thursday, or a week from yesterday. Yesterday is it? No, that's right. Yeah, next week.
I think it's during the show.
Yeah, well, 4:10 start. So
it always has been.
So 4:10 start on Thursday. Hayes, my recommendation to you would be get a lot of sleep Wednesday night.
Right.
Okay. Because I think you got it on
Might
Thursday.
Be carrying the show.
Yeah. So
we're accustomed to that on opening day, and it's there's one of the best traditions is normally we've been out
at Island Wings and other places,
and the Pirates will win on opening day, and Frank does a victory lap around the bar and buys drinks.
I'll generally do a victory lap. I'll say what I always say, which I'll say this year too. You can't win them all if you don't win the first one, Hayes.
Yep.
So and listen, I said this last year, and I was dead on, JJ. I said this last year. I said when they won the first one, Don't think that's the end of it. Okay, we had 70 more of those coming. Okay, and you know what? We got those. We got our 70. So there's.
I always like it when we're like 4 weeks into the season and you start a segment with raise your hand.
Oh no, that's coming. That's coming. I think a week in, I think 8 days in, we had the best record because we started with the Marlins and swept them.
Oh, that's right.
So I think we had like 8 days in, had the best record in the National League. That was glorious. Yeah. I think that was the whole show. Poor Gibby, the Braves didn't start as well, so I had a hunch it might not last. JJ, my theory is get it in when you can. You with me on that?
I remember at one point early in April last year, you said, I'll take 82 wins right now. And I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah. And I would have, by the way. And just so you know, I will repeat that today, all right? So there's that. All right.
I'm ready. I can't wait.
I am too. Baseball right around the corner. I couldn't get into the first two games, the Dodger-Cubs games. I tried. I just couldn't get emotionally excited about
so early in the day too.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not a Dodger hater. I'm not a Yankee hater. Nor do I fault the Dodgers. If these are the rules, if the rules allow no salary cap and you can spend, God bless you.
Right.
God bless you for spending all you can spend. And like I said, I've said this before, JJ. Obviously, I believe there should be a salary cap. There should be equity spending like there's in the other league. But the Dodgers aren't the problem. Cheap-ass teams like mine are the problem. We're the ones that are afraid. I mean, the Dodgers are just playing by the rules.
Yeah, what else are they supposed to do? If your owner wants to do that, I mean,
that's right.
Who's to blame you for that?
If you've got the wherewithal to go win based on the rules, go win based on the rules. So I never begrudge the teams that are way better because they got a bunch of money. And by the way, we always talk, and I'm guilty as this of anybody. We always talk about market size, and market size is part of it. But the worst problem isn't being in a small market. The worst problem is being in a small market with a cheap-ass owner. That's the bigger problem. And I tip of the cap to the Rays who've been able to overcome both. But that's still the problem. I'm like you. I can't wait for it to get started. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, do want to remind you we're at the Dart Bar today. March Madness continues on. We'll continue to give you updated scores throughout the course of the day. But after this break, Hays has headlines. That's on the other side. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Catch the draft and accelerate to the checkered flag.
To the checkered flag.
Hey, Sunday at Miami. NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on 1010XL.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. But if they're paying your salespeople commission, you're starting off in a hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
Hey, folks, you're looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you're going to find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now, with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value for your trade, and peace of mind. And now is the best time to shop certified used vehicles and to buy with confidence. Buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. Now, with Car Bravo, Nimnick Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. That means Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. And oh, by the way, trading in your old vehicle, don't forget who gives you the top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online and find out where you can find all those terrific used cars. Car Bravo certified dealership, that is Nimnick. Nimnick Buick GMC. Visit them today. That is Nimnick.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harrell and Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
St. Johns County parents, does your kid have energy to burn? Want them to play a sport for their middle school? Sign up today for the St. John's Middle School Athletic Association. Spring pickleball, tackle football, dance, and cheerleading. Who doesn't want their kid to be the next NFL quarterback or dance floor diva? Hurry, time is running out. March is almost over. You know how fast your kid can go from playing Xbox to practicing their touchdown dance or sideline cheer? Sign up at sjmsaa.org. sjmsaa.org.
Find out why soccer is the most popular game in the world and spreading fast on the First Coast.
On the Sporty Jack Soccer Hour.
Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley as they discuss the latest in the world of soccer.
Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Hey y'all, I'm Hannah with the Deck Guys. We've been locally owned and operated for over 10 years in the outdoor living space. If you are looking to get spring projects started, like a new deck, pavers installed, or maybe a pergola, we would love to earn your business. Just remember,
call the Deck Guys if you want a brand new deck, pavers, and more. Call 904-813-2474.
TheDeckGuysJacks.com.
It's Blue, and I couldn't see everyone else here at the station lose weight while I'm on the sidelines wishing mine away. I jumped on Awaken 182, and I mean weight loss every week, eating to lose weight, and then receive full support for life. What's not to like? Now, I didn't drop the double digits like Hacker did in week 1, but I'm down 4 pounds. I'll take that any day. The best part, Awaken 180 was actually easier than I expected. I'm not sure what I thought beforehand, but after just day 1, I was already in a groove. Wasn't hungry, more energy, and my coach Patrick is awesome. Gave me a couple of tips since I do sleep in and, of course, stay up late. And I'm off. I'm cruising through week 2 and loving it. You've heard all about Choose Awaken 180, all of us having success with Awaken 180. What do you have to lose? Only weight. Everything else to gain with the solution for weight loss. Reserve your March consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harold and Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We're live here at the Dart Bar in Riverside. Come see us. We've got Frank Frangie. We've got Tom Champion helping us out. We've got JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters. And thank you to our friends at Harold and Harold. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we are going to start with the NCAA tournament. We'll start with the games that occurred in the early pod, starting with Louisville, who couldn't take advantage of playing in Lexington. They lose to Creighton 89-75. The Blue Jays dominated, building a 15-point halftime lead and shooting 57% for the game.
Yeah, and I watched most of that, and I mean from the minute it started. They were the aggressor. They were the better team. Louisville tried to get Terrence Edwards Jr. going a little bit, and he did for a moment or two. But the bottom line was Creighton was better. That didn't look like an upset. Remember, it's a 9-8 game. So, I mean, it wasn't that 9-8 games aren't big upsets, but it didn't look like an upset. It looked like the better team won the game. And, again, all the talk about Louisville and Auburn having to play Louisville in Lexington where all their fans are, don't have to worry about that now.
No, they do not. Creighton moves on. They will face Auburn. The number 1 overall seed had little trouble with Alabama State, winning the game by about 18, 20 points.
Yeah, at first Auburn looked like they were sputtering. I looked at one point, it was 29-26, and I thought, okay. And but then Auburn pulled away. But look, it's the SEC, as good as it was in the regular year, they're going to have to prove it now in the tournament too.
Purdue survives a gutsy effort from High Point. That's a 4 seed over a 13. The Boilermakers get by High Point 75-63, a game that was a little dicier than that. But High Point, they'd get it to 6, they'd get it to 5, but they just couldn't get over the hump. Purdue would answer. They had a very strong inside game, and High Point was really, I thought, kind of got a raw deal from the officials early in the second half. You blinked, and High Point had like 6 fouls with like 15 and a half minutes left in the second half. But nevertheless, Purdue moves on to the round of 32.
Could that ultimately be the game that sends our close friend JJ de La Selva back to Bono's? That's
it
JJ,
doesn't help him.
Could High Point send you back to Bono's? Could that be the game? That's my question for you.
I was planning on going anyways. I already told him, see you guys in a few
I
weeks.
give you credit for predicting the upset. It didn't come through, but
I blame Leon. He was very high on High Point for no reason. I was like, why not?
Well, there you go. A lot of tournament left, so maybe you'll be all right. Wisconsin buries Montana 85-66. That is a 3 seed over a 14 seed. So we will wait to see who the Badgers face.
Yeah, and listen, the Big Ten teams, like a lot of the teams, are all saying, hey, we're as good as these SEC teams are, and we'll see if they prove it. Wisconsin actually has a pretty good team. I think Michigan State's got a really good team, by the way.
Yeah. Houston, the number 1 seed in the Midwest region. They drill SIU Edwardsville 78-40. Boy, that defense, so good. They give up like 53 points a game, even if it's the NCAA, even if it's a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament, to hold somebody to 40 points. Unbelievable defensive effort today by Houston.
Houston, A, is the only non-SEC team I got in the Final Four, and B, I got them going to the final game. We'll see.
Oh, wow. We'll get you some game updates right now. Last I checked, Georgia getting embarrassed by Gonzaga 35-18 with 5 minutes left in the first half.
They made a little bit of a run.
Okay.
They got it to 37-23.
All right.
So you sit down, get it to 13. They got it to 14.
Yeah.
With 4:40 left, a real important final 4 minutes of the half for the I say the Bulldogs, they're both Bulldogs, for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Clemson is in trouble as McNeese leads 51-38 with 6 minutes left. Let's see, do we have more of an update than that? That's what I got just coming out of the break. So,
yeah,
but Clemson in some trouble.
55-40 they trail.
Okay.
And we're inside of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They're down 15 inside of 5 minutes in that ballgame.
That's going to be a difficult putt. The winner there gets Purdue, so potentially the bracket opening up a little bit for the Boilermakers there should McNeese pull off the 12-5.
I was just going to say, if McNeese wins that, the 12-5 stuff over the last 30 years is uncanny.
It's amazing.
It's uncanny how these 12s how a 12 beats a 5 literally every tournament.
Yeah.
Literally.
It really is. It is remarkable, and we'll see. Clemson's really got their work cut out for them if they are going to advance. BYU was a popular choice to be upset, the 6th seed, but they lead VCU 39-28 at halftime in that East region.
Yeah, they've been pulled ahead now, Hays. It's 48-34, so they're up 14 3 minutes into the second half.
The Gators are losing assistant coach John Anderchek as he has been hired to coach Campbell. Anderchek has been on Todd Golden's staff for the last 2 years and has been credited with UF's defensive improvement this season. He will stay on with Florida throughout its entire NCAA tournament run.
By now, you all know the numbers if you pay attention. Florida was in the 90s in defensive efficiency last year. They're in the top 10 this year, and he's given a lot of credit. And by the way, it's one of the main reasons he got the Campbell job.
Florida's digital team released the 3rd episode of Gator Boys, chronicling this spectacular season. The 15-minute video finishes out the regular season and goes through UF's SEC tourney title run. There's a fun scene where Thomas Houck and Alex Condon are fishing, I believe, at Lake Alice. But it's cool. It gives you some insight into kind of the behind the scenes. Denzel Aberdeen does his interview from his residence, which is really cool. You get to see his dog and things like that. But really cool video, and again shows why Florida why many are picking Florida to win the national title, because what a performance that they've had these last couple of weeks.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to go watch it. Apparently everybody says it's great. I just haven't taken the time, but I'm going to go watch every one of them. It's probably an hour and a half if you watch them all, and I'm going to go watch them all.
Great news for Duke. Superstar Cooper Flagg has recovered from his ankle injury suffered last week and will play in Duke's opening game of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they felt like a lot of the holding him out was precautionary, and I think was wisely precautionary. He's the best player in America, they say, and you're going to need him in the tournament.
Let's get it to the NFL. The Texans have agreed to a one-year extension with defensive end Danielle Hunter worth $35.6 million.
And he's a good player. I remember when he was leaving Minnesota, whoever landed him was going to be in a good spot. Look, of all the things the Texans haven't done perfectly as they rebuild their roster with an awful lot of Jags among them, Hunter and Anderson are very, very good ends. I'll say this. Neither one of those guys affected one of those Jaguar games. I was talking, Doug Peterson and I had this talk both times. I never called either name. Did you realize that? I never called Hunter or Anderson's name at any point during those two games. But they're still quite the pair of pass rushers, no question.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's get it to college football. ESPN's breakout player for every team in its preseason top 25 is out. The Gators are 18th in the poll, and ESPN goes with defensive tackle Caleb Banks, who in the final 3 games last season had 7 tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks.
Yeah, I thought his breakout was the end of last year. I'm glad you gave the stat. I thought that's when he really broke out, and everybody thought he was leaving. I think among the reasons people have high hopes, like really high hopes for the Florida team this year, is him coming back. I mean, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the country. He and Cam Jackson together, and I didn't think they were very good, turned out to be very good. And him coming back will help the cause.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of an obvious choice as well, but anyway, going with that, maybe you would have gone with like a Dallas Wilson or anyway.
They went with the guy who's already been doing it.
But yeah, let's. Georgia was 5th, so we'll give you their guy. Defensive back KJ Bolden was selected in terms of being Georgia's breakout player, and for number 23 Miami, it was tight end Elijah Lofton.
How about that? You know what? I'll be very interested to see what the Miami passing game looks like this year as Cam Ward passes the baton to Carson Beck.
In the world of golf, the Masters revealed Scotty Scheffler's menu for the Champions Dinner. This sounds incredible. The appetizers are cheeseburger sliders, firecracker shrimp, and meatball and ravioli bites. The first course is Texas-style chili. The entree is wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish. And for dessert, warm chocolate chip skillet cookie.
I saw it 2 days ago, and I'm like you. I said, okay, Scotty's my kind of guy. I'd eat the hell out of that steak. Put that bad boy mid-rare, maybe Pittsburgh rare, and eat it like I'm going to the chair, bro.
Absolutely. In Major League Baseball, on this date, March 20th, back in 1973, Pirates legendary right fielder Roberto Clemente inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in a special election that waived the 5-year waiting period months after Clemente died in a plane crash on New Year's Eve while on a humanitarian mission. Clemente played for the Pirates for 18 seasons, batted .317, and was a 15-time All-Star.
Yeah, one of the saddest days for me in my life as a sports fan is the great Roberto Clemente was gone so soon. They should have inducted him the way they did. If Roberto Clemente had been a power hitter, he would be one of the 2 or 3 greatest players of all time. He was as good an outfielder who's ever played, as good a hitter. He won 4 batting titles. As good a hitter as ever played, but he was a guy that hit 18 home runs a year, not 38 home runs a year. But he was a great, great player, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely. Let's get it to the NBA. The Celtics sold for $6.1 billion to a group led by Bill Chisholm. It's the most ever for an American professional sports team, just barely surpassing what the Commanders were sold for a couple years ago. The Suns were the richest purchase in NBA history. They sold for $4 billion in 2013, so a massive jump for one of the most storied franchises that we have in the NBA.
Well, that's and one of the most storied franchises in sport, in American sport. I mean, if you looked at the most heritage franchises, when you start that list of Yankees, Dodgers, Cowboys, the Celtics are right there. The Celtics and Lakers are right there. I would imagine if you'd have told me, I saw the story today too, if you'd have told me before that, Hayes, that the Celtics sold, I wouldn't have known the number because I don't keep up with that. But I would have been able to tell you it would be one of the highest selling franchises of all time because they're the Boston Celtics.
And I think the Boston ownership group that is selling bought the team in 2003 for like $330 million. So
Really?
talk about a return on your investment.
I'd say that's pretty good.
That is incredible. Give us an update. I've got the music coming up, but give us an update before. So McNeese is only up 10 now.
McNeese is up 10.
Wow.
BYU's got it well in hand. They're up 15, 54-39. Gonzaga, late in the half, 43-23. They've extended it back to 20 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Those are the
three right
games
now.
of note, the games
Well,
that are going on.
Clemson has a chance down 10 with 3 minutes left.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be hard.
It's going to take a collapse, but that happens in the NCAA tournament a lot of times with particularly the lower seeded teams.
2:59 to play. They trail by 10. Both teams in the bonus here. So again, it's they waited a little late to make their move after getting that big deficit in the first half.
And we will get you out with our musical note of the day. Today we're honoring Kenny Rogers, who died on this date back in 2020 at the age of 81. Rogers is one of the most successful artists of all time, selling over 100 million albums in a career that spanned different genres. While he was known best for his country music, this was Rogers' first hit when he fronted the first edition. This is Just Dropped In, released in 1967, that peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 100.
How about that? He was for the first edition. He might be the best total crossover guy ever in terms of big impact in both genres. You know what I mean? You talk about big impact in both genres, he might be the biggest ever. It was that big a deal in both. Kenny Rogers did front the first edition. Well done. We'll take a break, then wrap up the program from Dart Bar, including giving away 2 tickets to the Avril Lavigne concert. Come on back.
I pushed my soul in a deep dark hole and then I followed it.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now, another March update, served up hot by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Florida Pest Control.
First round action continues in the NCAA tournament, including that of an upset alert as number 12 seeded McNeese holds an 8-point lead over 5 seeded Clemson. 62-52 is your score. BYU beginning to run away with it as they lead 54-39 over VCU. Gonzaga enjoying a 20-point lead in the first half against 9 seeded Georgia, 43-23. We do have a couple of games that have gone final throughout the day. Purdue enjoying a 75-63 victory over High Point. You also had Auburn winning by 20 against Alabama State. 83-63 was your final. And Creighton defeating Louisville in the South Region first round matchup by a final score of 89-75. We will continue to update you throughout the tournament right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Some of the lines for Friday's NCAA first-round games. Alabama, a 2 seed, is 22.5-point favorite over Robert Morris. 8th-seeded Mississippi State, a 1.5 favorite over 9-seed Baylor. 3-seed Iowa State is a 14.5-point favorite over Lipscomb. Number 12 seed Colorado State, a 1.5 favorite over number 5 Memphis. Duke is a 32.5-point favorite over Mount St. Mary's. Duke, the number 1 seed in the East Regional, while North Carolina, an 11 seed, is a 1.5 favorite over 6 seed Ole Miss. And the Florida Gators, top seed in the West, 28.5-point favorite over Norfolk State. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services, making it easy for you to work with one trusted company and one simple build. Every department has highly skilled experts trained for the job. For fast, reliable service from a company that does it all the right way, call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com.
Tired of supermarket produce that's traveled thousands of miles before you get it? Treat your family to farm-fresh, Florida-grown fruits and veggies delivered right to your home with Doorbell Farms. No supply chain issues or questionable origins, just seasonal produce hand-picked from local farmers. Subscribe monthly and enjoy the best local farm produce delivered right to you. Sign up now at doorbellfarms.com, connecting real people to real family farms. Doorbellfarms.com.
Mia here. It's that time again. The Ready, Set, Go sales event is back and going on now at Arlington Toyota. Just announced 0% on select new Toyota models has been extended. 0%. You can even get financing as low as 1.99% on select new trucks. Arlington has over 80 Tacomas and over 75 Tundras available. Shop the Ready, Set, Go sales event at Arlington Toyota now through March 31st. In person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295 or at arlingtontoyota.com.
Jacksonville, get ready to spice up your night at One Night Taco Stand. Every Taco Tuesday, enjoy their mouth-watering tacos for just $2.99 and get your weekend started with 2-for-1 house margaritas. Find fresh Mexican street food, stiff drinks, and fun vibes at One Night Taco Stand with 3 Jacksonville locations in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Amelia Tucker, senior varsity track and field and soccer player at Wilson High. Amelia is involved with student government and is a member of the National Honor Society. Congratulations, Amelia.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rear-view mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize that if we keep looking at the rear-view mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rear-view mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Learn how human trafficking works, where it's happening in Jacksonville, and what you can do to help stop it. Plan to attend the Band of Brothers man-to-man training at Rethreaded on Friday, March 21st from 3 to 5 p.m.
Young Lives is a nonprofit helping teen moms flourish in their communities with the help of support and love. Join Young Lives at Topgolf Sunday, March 30th from 2 to 5 for their community fundraiser. Sponsor or learn more at jacksmetroyounglives.younglife.org.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action and secure your place in line for the stadium of the future with your 2025 season ticket membership. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true. And after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase now through March.
Lifetime Enclosures.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where have we been in the program? We're live at Dart Bar. We're going to give away tickets to Avril Lavigne in just a second. Anyone in here who's got a raffle ticket, so I hope everyone's got their raffle tickets out. We have talked a lot about the NCAA basketball tournament, a little bit about Fred Johnson coming to the Jags, our first memories of the tournament, and our friend Billy Donovan all coming up, and mostly it's been a lot of basketball here today. Let's go ahead and draw now. Does anyone have, if you can hear me,
Here we go.
Here we go. Do we have raffle tickets out there? I'm going to read a raffle ticket number, and this is going to be the winner. Oh, I got a name on here too. That's even better. Steve Z. Is Steve Z?
Steve Z.
Is there a Steve Z anywhere? Is that you?
We got him.
Is you, Steve Z? Oh, look at you. There you go.
Well done, sir.
You're going to the concert. Congratulations, Steve. Steve Z is our winner. We'll tell you how to get those tickets coming up in a bit. You are going to the concert. And Steve's been loyal. He's been sitting here listening the whole time, so we appreciate your daughter will be going to see, and she'll have a big time. You won them for your daughter. Great work. I'm in a mood to give away more. JJ, let's give something else. Let's go to Clay County. What do you got
Wow, 2 giveaways, Frank.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yes. Let's do this.
I have a family 5-pack of tickets to the Clay County Fair. That is from April 3rd to the 13th. Visit claycountyfair.org for more information, or be caller number 4 right now at 641-1010, and I got a 5-pack of tickets for you.
So there you go. So on your way, a 5-pack to go to the Clay County Fair.
McNeese isn't out of the woods just yet.
So
Clemson
now,
with a big 3.
Clemson has got it to 5, 67-62. A big 3 here for Clemson. So McNeese, 67-62 is the score.
22 seconds
22
left.
seconds, and McNeese's ball, I would imagine.
I
right?
think it's McNeese's ball, yeah.
Yeah, so 67-62. And we will, I don't think Clemson can come back from this, but it's not over yet. It is a 5-point game, 22.3 seconds remaining in the ball game. Clemson dug themselves a big hole. This is a 12-5 game. Those 12-5s can be deadly, as you know. By the way, Florida beating Butler back in 2000 was a 12-5 game.
Was that 12? When Mike White made the Elite Eight, what seed were they? I couldn't remember. A 3?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because that was a great run. And, and we talked about it. They were a bad non-walk call away from probably beating South Carolina to go to the Final Four.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. We'll see what Clemson can do here in terms of trying to force a turnover.
But McNeese has the ball after the Clemson score. They get it in. And I would imagine you foul right away, and they do. So Clemson fouls with 19.9 to go in the ball game. You need a miss. I can't see it, but I'm imagining they're in the double bonus, right?
I would think, but I can't.
Yeah, they are in the double bonus, so it's going to be 2 free throws. But it looks like the first 12-5 is going to happen here. Or is it the second 12-5?
This would be the first one in this tournament, yeah.
Right, the first 12-5.
But I think it's the first 5-12 matchup.
Yeah.
So
first free throw.
You're breathing a little easier if you're Michigan.
Yeah.
And the other 5s, because if it already happened, it's unlikely the 12s are going to sweep.
First free throw missed. He's got one more coming. Up 5, 19.9 to go. Second free throw's good, so it's 68-62. It's a two-possession game, but you need 2 threes if you're Clemson. And I think
you got to hurry.
Yeah,
you got to hurry. What are you doing?
Boy, they are really taking their time. There's a 3 from the left corner. And he made it. And so now it is a 3-point game with 11.9 to play. They'll foul immediately the minute the ball goes in. He is fouled with 10.8 seconds to play. Now, if he makes one, you would imagine it's over. If he misses both, does McNeese foul?
They should.
They should foul almost the minute it goes in. What you don't want to do is foul if he's taking a shot.
Right.
So meanwhile, BYU comfortably ahead, 56-42 over VCU. A lot of us thought that would be the upset. It is not.
Yeah, we all got that one wrong.
Yeah,
we all had
not going to happen. Meanwhile, McNeese at the foul line needs 2. He made the first, and I think that'll do it. It's now a 4-point lead with 10.6 seconds. Clearly, Will Wade, before he gets to NC State, is going to win a national title.
I tell you, Todd Golden's biggest problem moving forward might be Will Wade's NC State Wolfpack.
So he missed one, made one, but it won't matter, I don't think. It's a 4-point game. Clemson lets a 3 fly, missed it. Clemson will control the rebound, lay it in, but it won't matter. That'll be the ball game.
Wow.
The basket does count.
And Cinderella has arrived at the big dance.
McNeese 69, Clemson 67. The Tigers, one of the best basketball teams really in their history. Clemson just has not been a basketball school, as you know. One of the best seasons they've ever had ends just like that. They are knocked off by McNeese, and down goes Clemson. Interesting.
Wow. It is, and that's a big break for Purdue. Look, we talk about it. Florida's benefited from this a lot in their history, particularly you go back to, Billy Donovan had some things really open up. Norfolk State, ironically, who Florida will play tomorrow, beat Missouri a 15-2 one year when Florida was a 7 seed. That opened up the bracket for Florida. But Purdue gets a really big break here. You would think, McNeese might beat Purdue, but you would think Purdue, this will help them as you peek ahead to the top of that Midwest region, where that could be a Houston-Purdue Sweet 16 battle, the 1 and the 4. But wow, that is. It's been a tough year for the ACC, and that certainly doesn't help matters, seeing Clemson go down right away.
Yeah, and again, 12-5 is not shocking, A. And B, McNeese is pretty good. And again, say what you want about Will Wade. Of all the things he did he wasn't supposed to do, nobody debated the fact he's a good coach.
Oh, he's a good coach.
In addition to being a guy that can get players legally or illegally, he's a good coach.
Yes.
And so he will be on his way. Who knows, though? I mean, let's see. They now will move on to play
Purdue.
They'll play. You know what?
Yeah.
I mean, Purdue, good, not great. Would it shock anybody?
No.
It wouldn't shock me.
Well, and look, I mean, Purdue got to the final last year, but they've had moments in this tournament of real embarrassment. Keep in mind, they lost as a 1 seed to a 16 seed just a couple of years ago. So Matt Painter does have a history of losing to teams that you wouldn't think Purdue would lose to. So yeah, it'll certainly be a challenge. But if you're Purdue, you got to be thrilled to see this. Is that at least the second round game really opens up very favorably for you? You would think, because you got to think Purdue will be a 9-point favorite over McNeese, something like that. And against Clemson, it would have been more of a coin flip game.
VCU's got it as close as they've had it in a while. They've got it to 10. So they trail.
Yeah, 9 minutes left. They're still in it.
They trail BYU, but 10 points with just under 10 to play. So they certainly start.
And Georgia at half still against Gonzaga.
Georgia still at the half, down 23, I think. They're down. They're
48-27.
They're down 21. 48-27. They're down 21 at the half. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
We're at the Dart Bar in Riverside. Our friend Rick Ballou is set up at Mr. Chubby's. Which location, Rick? Which Mr. Chubby's you at?
We are west, and the hairs on the back of my neck really stuck up as I barreled by Lane Avenue, bringing up some tremendous memories from when I first arrived here to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But we're even farther west. We're off of Chafee Road and I-10 and this place is packed. A lot of Georgia Bulldog fans are in here right now, and obviously they're hoping that their team can make somewhat of a comeback. But we just saw, our first upset, a 12-5. So we invite folks to come on out. I haven't been out here in a little bit. It's been more than a year. Always loved this location. I've already bumped into quite a few people that I haven't seen in quite some time. So we're going to have tonight 2-for-1 domestic drafts and pitchers until 9 o'clock. You can also be a part of the contest here. The grand prize by Mr. Chubby's is 2 tickets to Rockville. They also have a great contest going on where if you enter before a game and you are right, you get yourself a free Miller Lite. So Mr. Chubby's is basically doing everything that you could possibly want to get this tournament kicked off.
Love it, love it, love it. I know you'll have a big time quickly. You expect a tournament with a lot of upsets, Rick? What are your expectations here?
It was interesting. Dylan and I yesterday, with the 32 games, we had 13 of 14 different games. I was more of chalk. He was pulling off quite a few upsets. We just saw it here with McNeese, but I kind of think in the first round that's going to be a little bit more rare. I did have Creighton today. I know a lot of people out there had Louisville. But this is, what it's all about. And then, the flip side of it all is a lot of people believe it really doesn't matter. Let's just get to Florida and Duke. That appears to be the collision course. But crazier things have happened here in March Madness. We'll see.
All right, Rick, we appreciate it, buddy. Have fun out there. Rick Ballou, he goes into the night, and that is at Mr. Chubby's on the west side. I want to thank one more time our friends here at Dart Bar. It is a wonderful place. It is on King Street, the corner of King and Park. Packed in here with people watching all kind of basketball. Every NCAA tournament game is going to be on here. Hope you'll come in here and see the folks and bring some of that great beer, those great food trucks, including Carlito's Latin Kitchen, who just fed us. So what a great place. It's the first time here, and they've done a great job.
I'll definitely be back.
Yeah, me too. Come see the people at the Dart Bar here in Riverside. We're out of here. Don't go anywhere, though. Rick Ballou goes into the night, and he does it right now from Mr. Chubby's. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
She's spunky, aggressive, opinionated, and she knows how to keep the boys in line.
It's good to see you too.
Mia O'Brien, noon to 2 on 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts